Hey guys, so the Happy Model Mobula6 is arguably one of the best 65mm whoops, if not the best 65mm whoop on the market today. It does have a couple of flaws, one being the canopy, which is not designed properly and allows too much movement of the camera, which induces a lot of jello. And the other one is, to me, is that these motors are not balanced after they're assembled, and that induces jello as well. That's just kind of a Happy Model signature, unfortunately. So when I found out that MicroHeli was making a standard frame for this, I was really excited, and I have one right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to take this whoop and turn it into a 65mm toothpick, I guess. It's not really going to be a toothpick style, but it's going to be a very small, very ultra light quad, so it's kind of in that same design category. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the package and see what they include. So first of all, we've got the frame here, and it's hard to show in a video, but it is absolutely tiny. It's very, very cool. And it has a TPU mount for the battery, and then it has the mount for the flight controller. And then along with that, we've got a little top plate here, which is going to go on top. And then we have these little side plates that go on the side. Now, if you saw my video about the Tiny Hawk Freestyle MicroHeli frame, this is going to look pretty familiar to you because it's very, very similar. The only main difference is the battery is going to mount on the bottom instead of on the top. So I'm pretty excited about this. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and get all the parts out of this frame, and then we will take a look at swapping them in, and then we'll see how this thing flies. Before we do that though, I want to get a weight measurement. Alright, so right now my Mobula6 with this 3D printed canopy, which I think is basically essential because the standard canopy is just no good, so we're going to weigh it with that 3D printed canopy, weighs 20.8 grams. Alright, I'm going to go get the parts pulled out of here, and then we will take a look at it getting them switched over, and we'll see how much it weighs. Alright, well, that's the old frame stripped out. I got the new frame right here. I'm going to be following the directions to install everything. It's going to be pretty straightforward. So flight controller is just going to go in. You can only go one way. Put it in the notch here, and then this is this little TPU mount, so then you just stretch it out and fit it in like that. They also have a couple little bars underneath in the TPU mount that stop this from wobbling side to side. It's actually held in there pretty darn firmly. So that takes care of that. You've got easy access to the USB port on the bottom. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount up the motors, and when I come back from that, then we'll get these side plates put on and I'll show you about the camera. Something I'm a little bit excited about is it looks like these mounts will also hold a regular 14mm nano camera, which means I might be able to revisit trying to use a Cadex Baby Ratel on here if the weight and balance is a little bit different. If you guys want to see me put a Cadex Baby Ratel on here again like I did in this video right here, which didn't go that well because I had weight problems, but if you want to see me try again with this frame, let me know down in the comments and we'll give that another shot. Alright, I'm going to get these motors put on and then we'll come back. Alright, well, that's the motors mounted up. I also went ahead and put their little adapter on the back of the camera. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount up these side plates and then get the camera mounted and put the top plate on, which is all pretty straightforward and is well detailed in their excellent instructions. That's one thing that's great about MicroHeli, is they always include really nice pictures and instructions for the assembly. Very happy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these side plates on, camera, top plate, and I'll show you the finished product. Alright guys, here it is all done. I think this is one of the coolest looking little quads I've ever seen. This thing is awesome. It's so tiny, and I mean it's the same size as it was when it was in this frame, but seeing it outside of the Whoop frame as like a regular quad, it looks even tinier, and I think it's really awesome. Everything feels nice and stiff. I did go ahead and use the pads under the motors because these motors can use all the help they can get as far as vibration is concerned. The frame and these top plates here, this all feels nice. When you're putting these screws in, don't go crazy with them. Just put them in until they stop and a tiny bit further, because you are screwing into 3D printed plastic with very small screws, so you could strip them out relatively easily. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this thing weighs now. Before it was 20.8 grams, and that was with this canopy that I 3D printed. Now I think that this canopy is required, But if you're only flying inside and you don't mind some jello, that kind of thing, maybe you could get away with the regular canopy. This does weigh a little bit more than the regular canopy. So I was at 20.8 grams with the stock frame. Let's see how we are with this new frame. We are at 18.9 grams. So we've lost almost 2 grams from the stock frame to go to this. And I think honestly it's going to fly better because it's no longer being impeded by the hoops. So let's go ahead and get a battery stuck in this thing and get it up in the air and see how it flies. This thing flies pretty well with this frame. It's a little bit lighter, and without the hoops it performs quite a bit better in my opinion. The hoops are nice. If you run into things, it protects the props and protects the things, but other than that, they are almost always going to be worse than not having them at all. So this thing flies better. It's faster. It doesn't have that prop wash that the whoops are known for, where it falls off to the side when it gets into its own prop wash. It seems to have similar flight times, but that could probably be improved by putting the 24 or 48 kilohertz JESC on the ESCs, which I'll probably mess around with later. The jello is still there. Like I said before, if you want to see me put the Caddx Baby Ratel in this setup, let me know. I'm going to have to drill out these holes and make a couple other modifications, but it could be really cool to be able to run that camera with this tiny little quad. The battery strap works very, very well. I was kind of skeptical about it, but you can adjust the tension very well and it actually stays there. I've run a few packs through here and it's nice and snug and it has stayed that way. I've crashed it a few times, haven't had any issues with the frame breaking or anything like that. I mean, this thing's so small and light that I really didn't think that was going to be a problem. So if you are interested in making a little something different out of your Mobula6 and making it into a standard quad instead of a little whoop, I would definitely suggest picking up this frame from MicroHeli and giving it a try. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.